Raising a child with a narcissistic parent is a very difficult thing to do, primarily because of the narcissist's disagreeable, rigid, and aggressive nature. But this is a situation that you are stuck in. This is a journey that you have to continue, and you have to overcome the obstacles that the narcissist puts in your path, as you are the only hope for the child. But what do you do? How do you make sure that you are raising your child properly? How do you guide them, nurture them, so that they do not turn into a codependent or a narcissist in their adulthood? All of these questions will be answered today in this episode. And before we begin, make sure that you are subscribed to this channel by pressing the subscribe button and push the bell icon to stay updated with everything latest that I post here. Parenting in itself is a big responsibility. It is a responsibility of properly nurturing the soul that the God has gifted you with. The soul in your life that came through you. Properly being present for the child, properly providing, doing the right things. Putting yourself, your ego aside and being unconditional in your approach. But all of those things are impossible for a narcissist to do. One, they do not see beyond themselves, and second, they do not have the capacity to offer what the child needs to grow properly into a healthy adult. And that is why it becomes your responsibility, the dual responsibility, to play the role of both the parents to make sure to do two things. One, to provide this child with everything that they need, not only the physical stuff, but also the emotional presence, the emotional nurturing that they do not get from the narcissist. And the second thing is, it becomes your responsibility to undo the damage that the narcissistic parent is causing to this child. And that is why I believe that unconscious parenting is not even a remote possibility for you. It is a mistake that you cannot afford to make in such a situation, because there is only one parent in the whole dynamic, a healthy parent, a non-narcissistic parent, and it's you. That makes it really, I wouldn't say just a difficult job, but a job full of responsibilities. But at the same time, it's a divine job. If done properly, you are going to save your children or a child from so much trauma, so much drama, so much damage and chaos that they could go through in their adulthood. How do you do this though? What does the approach look like? What are the things that you need to do to make sure that you are properly raising the child? Before we talk about all of this, we need to first understand what is the primary need of a child when they are developing. And for us, we need to go all the way back to understanding the development of a nervous system. There is something called co-regulation when we talk about attunement, when we talk about the healthy presence of a parent and how a child's nervous system interacts with the parent's nervous system. When your child is a baby and their brain is nervous system is developing, your proper attunement, you looking at them, you holding them, hugging them, your voice, it soothes the child and helps the child to attune with your nervous system and co-regulate. And co-regulation is a must experience for the child to know what it means to be attached with a person in a safe way. And as this co-regulation happens, they develop. Their inner world develops with more richer experiences. And that brings us to the point that the number one thing that is missing between a narcissistic parent and a child is the safety. There is no co-regulation happening at the first place. And that is why the number one element on your side should be safety. The conscious parenting has to be done through being the provider of the safety, because on the other side there is absolute lack of safety. And how can you express this safety? How can you make this child know and feel that you are safe to be around? The first and the foremost thing is by letting the child know that you are a safe person to connect with and to express emotions before. That's why authoritarian and authoritative parenting styles may not be applicable here. If you are the parent who believes in punishing the child and using punishment to control the unacceptable behavior, that may not work here and may provoke rebellious behavior in the child, and then you may think that the child is turning into the mini narcissist, and we'll talk about that a couple of moments later. So this safety for expression, safety for growth through unconditional presence, through unconditional love, through unconditional understanding, through respect, through mutual understanding, through creating a common goal, through making the child know and feel that they are not an entity that you possess or an object that you gave birth to. Rather, they are a separate individual that you respect, you see, that you are there for. And through doing that, you are going to give the child a proper base, a proper foundation to build this empire of their personality on, because those are the things they are not going to get from the narcissist. We have to look beyond behaviors. Your children may do things that may not be acceptable. They may be conduct problems, they may act out, and there are different stages, of course. But with a narcissistic parent, given the tactics that they use, parental alienation and smear campaigning and making sure that the children see as you as the crazy one and them as the best parent, all of those things can make everything extra difficult. And that's why the one of the main things that you also need to focus on is nurturing yourself before you nurture the child. Because your child is going to do things, say things that may trigger you. And if you act out of survival mode, that is, if you act out of fight, flight, or freeze, then there would be a disconnect. There would be no co-regulation happening between you and the child, and that would serve the purpose of the narcissist. Which makes it super important that you work on yourself, you work on your healing, you are conscious and present with your body, your emotions, your feelings, your expressions. And then you provide the same space for the child. Because when you look beyond the behaviors through intentionality, through conscious presence, you are going to help the child not only connect with you, but also connect with themselves, so that they can express the shame, they can express the pain, they can express the sadness they experience with the other parent, so that they can understand that whatever they are being told by the other parent are not the experiences that need to be internalized, so that they understand that your model of parenting is a better one, and they choose to associate with it, to become it, rather than take on the world that the narcissist is trying to create for them. There is so much more to parenting with a narcissist, and there is so much more when it comes to raising a child properly, because again, it's a very difficult thing to do, and you have to take care of so many things. And the other thing, beyond and above everything, is that you have to be easy on yourself, because as a parent you are going to make mistakes, you are going to do things that you shouldn't have done. But as long as you take responsibility for those things, there is an area for growth. There is this place for authenticity, and your child sees that you make mistakes but you take responsibility. And that tells the child that the actions matter more than the words, because your actions should speak for things that you say. As on the other hand, it's going to be quite opposite, where the narcissist would say something but would do something else. This incongruity would automatically help the child to decide which side is the healthy one and which one they should pick and associate with. All of those things are going to create this basic foundation for the child and you to connect. And I'm going to talk in much more depth about nurturing and raising the child properly when the other parent is a narcissist in an upcoming event, in an upcoming webinar that I'm doing on December 5th and December 12th. And in that webinar, I'm going to share with you a lot of tools, a lot of things to make parenting easy for yourself and help the child to deal with the damage that they experience because of the narcissistic parent. If you are interested in booking one of the slots, make sure that you check the link in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're watching this on Instagram, make sure that you go to the link in my bio and book your seat before the number of slots end. There are only 100 people that could get in, and 50 are already in, I think about 50 at this time. Just make sure that you secure your place as soon as you can, and I'll see you on the other side and talk with you very soon. Till then, let the healing begin.